Okay guys, welcome back. This one's going to be an eventful one.
Yes.
We've been doing obviously a lot of wedge testing. I'm not saying that we've kind of started anything, but there's been a lot more wedge testing.
Yes, true.
On other channels, on sort of other platforms. Love to see it.
It's great. It's the most attention ever on this kind of thing,
Which is great. I mean, the kind of whole debate as to what the difference is moisture makes, and your dry versus wet. What's wet? Is it the ball? Is it the face? Is it the ground? Is it everything? Is it some? Is it nothing? So I think this is just such a kind of almost different test that's not really been done that much before.
No.
One thing I will start by saying is I love just the fact that other people are doing this test as well, regardless of what they find.
True.
I don't take any offense to anyone getting a slightly different result. I love that they're challenging what we say, the way we've done that with other platforms in the past. Not challenging, just doing our own test.
Just kind of seeing what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely something to debate. So we obviously had significant results the first time around with Glide 3.0.
Yes.
We redone the test more extensively with other wedges. Got pretty much a similar result with Glide 3.0. It's still sort of the best under both sets of wet and dry conditions. We didn't have the Mac Daddy 5 at the time, the new Jaws wedges. We literally just got our hands on it for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
So we've obviously got to dive straight in.
Got to throw it in the mix for sure.
And get in there.
So it's getting some good kind of feedback so far in that sense.
Fantastic feedback.
So it would be appropriate, wouldn't it? Blue grip, custom blue shaft band, blue little dots. If it's not the king of wet weather, then what is? So a couple things we're going to do just minorly different this time. So we're going to include a partial shot, kind of around 70 yards.
I think that's a good addition.
So we watched Mark Crossfield's test.
Right.
He noticed the spin disparities were obviously less at 70 yards.
Shorter shots.
Which makes sense. And he actually had Coach Matt do full swings, I think, with the sand wedge.
Okay.
And then obviously the disparity came back up. So more speed, more spin, different loft delivery and stuff. So I want to throw that in there just to see what occurs with less speed.
It's good.
Probably simulate somebody's 70-yard wedge swing or a partial shot for someone else, and then we'll just kind of throw that in the mix and see what happens.
See what it can chews out. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any amount of testing that's enough in this kind of scenario. Like you want to test all shots and chips and pitches and half wedges and full wedges and wet and dry.
Okay. So why don't we dive into our dry stuff? We'll do that quickish. And
you want to go with...
let's hit ping first.
Ping first. Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Not easy, that wedge. Wedge hitting.
It is repetitive.
Yeah.
And you want to get everything really close in delivery. So, it's mentally kind of like I feel like I'm really thinking about it because I just want all the swings to be basically the same, right?
The thing with that is we're trying to replicate the same swing. We're trying to replicate the same ball speed. So we're managing output, because as ball speed changes, obviously launch conditions are going to fluctuate. We're going to impact the ball with different forces. We want to try and keep that as similar as we can, which is why, like when you've hit both there, we've limited the ball speed to a number 95 on both, and we'll try and do that throughout. So, we can really then start to trust, what we see. For sure. That's something that's been very important in all the wedge testing that we've done, dry versus wet, and making sure that we're being fair to both.
And that's why
all clubs,
and that's why we were joking last time, like that I was exhausted because we just kept going back. And we did it again today. I said to you I wasn't going to do that, but I just kept going. No, we need to go back and make sure, because I just don't. I don't know. You just don't want to end up finding that the swing wasn't quite right. So, needless to say, we were hitting a lot of wedges.
A lot of wedges. So we found that the launch angles and spin rates were very, very similar ping to Callaway on the dry shot.
Dry ball, basically the same thing.
Basically the same. Launch was almost identical. Spin, there was about 260 RPMs in favor of the ping. When it's wet, it changes dramatically. So there's a difference in yardage and carry because we've lost about 1,700 RPMs of spin with the Callaway.
Yep, versus the ping.
The ping has continued to perform better for you.
Yep.
In the conditions that we're testing it with the ball that we use.
Yeah.
Which is standardized to last week. Same ball, same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You're again significantly performing better with the ping.
Yep.
You are.
I am, yeah. Based on the way that I swing, angle of attack, club face angle, all that stuff, it definitely spins more.
And it was great. We had our intern Brandon with us tonight helping us, which was great. And I was so pleased there was a third party in here because you almost start to doubt, like, are we doing something here that favours one over the other? And I kind of said that to him, and he's like, it's exactly what it is. And you went back and tested it. And then you went back again, and then you retested it, and you quadruple tested the numbers, and that's exactly what it was.
It just kept coming up within the same 100 RPMs with those numbers. So
for you, in dry and wet conditions, that ping is the best wedge.
Not a surprise. Now, that being said, the jaws did pretty good. That 8,000 on the full swing 56 is pretty much would put it in like third, I think, in our, again, I probably wasn't swinging exactly the same, but let's just say it's pretty good. It's not to the level of the ping, but it's pretty good.
Definitely. Okay.
So this is the part where we are introducing something new. We didn't do this last time. We hit 70-yard shots, same wedge. This is dry.
Again.
Not a shocker.
Not a shocker. I mean, remarkably similar. So launch is the same 200 RPMs, less than.
Yeah, 200.
Yeah.
About the same.
Okay. Same distance. Basically is the same performance.
Okay. Same amount of water was placed on them, and then we hit them again. And basically exactly what happened with the full swing. Obviously to a lesser degree. Like it wouldn't make sense to see that Callaway at 5,000 now, because it's obviously a lower ball speed, shorter swing, lower distance. So it's probably percentage-wise pretty similar drop-off.
Yeah.
But still pretty damn significant, isn't it?
Looking at the kind of flight, I mean, it's 4 degrees of launch, it's 1,600 RPMs of spin. It's different.
It's different. Yeah.
It's definitely you're reacting. The ball is reacting very differently off the Callaway than it is off the ping. Watching the ball hit the green, when the Callaway, anytime we had moisture on there, it hit the green and jumped forward again. The ping hit the green and just put the brakes on. It's different. So, we're probably not seeing what some of the other channels saw.
Yep, and again, to play, fair, we weren't swinging the same, obviously. We're not the same people. So there's always going to be the difference in the way you strike it, how your club face angle is. Obviously, those things do make a difference. But again, for me, clearly there's more spin on that ping.
Definitely.
And we had people say, are these clubs going the same distance? They kind of are, to be fair. I mean, is 2 yards significantly different? Not really, because that was just probably a bit of speed on that.
Right.
But the way it's getting there is clearly different. It's launching way higher, it's spinning less. So when that ball hits the green, this is a simulated green. If it hits a real green that's on a downslope, if the green's firm, whatever the case may be, more spin will stop, you'd say probably more predictably, than a ball that's got less spin.
Yeah, and that was, I love the sort of conversations that are being provoked out of all this. And some people are going, well, is spin really the thing that you gauge on? No, but it's like what we talked about. You just want the same thing to happen. You want it to be predictable. You want it to be somewhat consistent, so you can at least go, okay, if it's going to release when it's wet, know that it's going to release. If it's going to stop, know that it's going to stop. That's all we're saying is the right amount.
True.
Now, if you're the player who hits the green and runs through the back, you're going to look probably towards something like the higher spinning.
If you can't
product.
stop the ball,
definitely. There's going to be people out there who spin it too much, who go, well, actually, I'm trying to take a little bit off. Had a great conversation with Gareth Raflewski, who we're going to spend some time with, and Gareth was telling me about some of his players who look for more spin. He's got quite a few of his players who are looking for less spin.
Really?
So they're going with certain products that will give them the advantages that they want, whether that's one way or the other.
That's quite interesting.
It's all catering to what you need.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So if you play on soft, maybe old greens that's tend to, when the ball hits, you take quite a decent kind of pitch mark and then they rip back.
Yep.
Do you want something like the ping that spins too much? You probably don't.
It's a good point. Yeah, very good point. The last question I wanted to ask you is another good comment we got was, the launch angle's up. So obviously the flight is actually higher. It looks like the descending angle is actually a bit steeper with the jaws.
Bit steeper with the jaws, yeah.
So stopping power, whatever you want to call that kind of variable, is it, you know, I know this is simulated, but are they kind of comparable because it's higher?
Comparable. If you look at the simulated, like you said, I mean, it's very, very similar. So on the landing angles, if we go over and look at the kind of the flight of that, let's see where we are here. 42, 47 peak, 42.8 and 46 landing angles.
So 3 degrees steeper technically with the Callaway in the wet, which makes sense because it launched higher.
Yeah.
But again, I think spin, and this is something we probably could eventually do more in depth outside. But in theory, if you've got more descent angle and less spin, it will probably still stop in a decent amount of time.
Definitely. And one thing that you and I have kind of batted back and forward in conversation throughout all these tests is we want to do this again outside.
Yeah.
Just because we're curious and we enjoy testing and we want to get on the turf and sort of, you know, have these tests verified ourselves.
Good point.
You know, it's you know, I think it's a duty to us for us to go and do that, and it'll be pretty cool.
It'll be cool. And obviously, this is really good at simulating real turf, but it's going to be a bit different outside. We know that when I hit irons outside, the launch conditions are a bit different. Yeah. So yeah, I'd be curious to see if it holds up.
Definitely.
Cool.
Well, you know, ping continues for us to really achieve highly and do great things when we add moisture. Again, I just can't wait to see what, you know, if we add in some other variables outside, different conditions, does it continue to perform that high? My expectation is now, after thoroughly testing, this is the third time we've done this.
This is the third time, yeah.
I'm expecting it to do that.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to perform as advertised by the ping guys. And you know, most of you guys by now know there's nothing in this for us to back their product other than just because we find it to work.
For sure. Yeah, there's no motivation for you. You've got 10 brands in here, and you know, if one sells over the other, it doesn't really matter.
I want them all to kind of perform high. I mean, we will absolutely have the Jaws wedges in here. They'll be part of our matrix. I'm excited to try them. I probably haven't put a wedge down. Honestly, if I was to put a wedge down and choose one over looks, I would choose the Jaws over the ping.
It's a really good looking wedge.
It's a great looking wedge, and actually text the Callaway rep when it first came out, said to him, I'm like, that's probably the first wedge in a while put down, and went, I really like the look of that. I mean, to be honest, I'll probably play those Jaws wedges.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah.
It looks like exactly your kind. It's kind of like the Mizuno shape, but I think it's got a little bit more size to it, a little bit more rounded. And it's nice.
I know. So I'm excited to give those a little whirl myself.
Love it.
Excellent. Okay, guys, we're trying to be as thorough as we can, obviously, and control the amount of variables that are involved in this, which is a lot. It's extensive, but we're trying to be meticulous
and objective and as much as we can.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, excellent. More to come on the wedge stuff. I think we're scratching the surface, although it seems like we've done quite a lot recently.
Yeah, that's true.
I think there's more to come, more answers to come out of this, so stay tuned for all of that.
Love it.
Excellent. We'll see you again soon.